Check. 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 Check.
And wait here in the silence. till you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing.
I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing.
raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have grown, I'll fly away. Like the bird from prison bars have flown, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
true blue, don't say you've gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoke out, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, give it to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dying race. Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or just Vegemite? True blue, I'm asking you. Hey, true blue, can you bear the load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show on the road? Hey, true blue, hey. Do you really care? Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Just let it my head. True blue, I'm asking you. True blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Toast to you and me as I recite
Testing, testing.
This time you've been hurt much more than you could stand. And this time was the last time love will slip through our hands. A heart that's loved this best will
Check.
be your
Check.
epitaph. Oh, heart of mine, you've been broken one too many times. Oh, heart, rest in pieces. You'll never have to go through love again. All your feeling days are through. Love has seen the last of you. Oh, heart, rest in peace. Oh, heart, rest in peace.
What am I gonna do? What about the future? Gotta draw the line without delay. Why shouldn't I get emotional? The bush is sacred. Ancient life will fade away. Over the hill I go, killing another mountain. Gotta fill the quota, can't go slow. Huge machinery wiping out the scenery. One big swipe like a shearer's blow. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, no news today. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Chainsaw, I saw more decay. Remember the axemen knew their timber, cared about the way they brought it down. Cross-cut, black butt, tallow, wood and cedar, build another bungalow, pioneer town. I am the bush and I am koala, we are one, go hand in hand. I am the bush like Banjo and Henry, it's in my blood, gonna make a stand. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, no news today. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the screaming? Chainsaw, I saw more decay. Rip, rip, wood chip, turn it into paper. Throw it in the bin, no news today. Nightmare dreaming, can't you hear the scream? I've been around the world a couple of times and maybe more. Seen the sights, I've had delights on every foreign shore. But when my mates all ask me the place that I adore, I tell them right away. What do we tell them? Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. You can see me in the kitchen cooking up a roast or Vegemite on toast, just you and me, a cup of tea. And later on we'll settle down and go out on the porch and watch the possums play. Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. There's a Safeways up the corner and a Woolies down the street, and a brand new place they've opened up, but they regulate the heat. But I trade them all tomorrow for a little bush retreat with a kookaburras call. Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. Up we go. Some people like their houses with fences all around. Others live in mansions and some beneath the ground. But me, I like the bush, you know, with rabbits running round and a pumpkin vine out the back. This is your turn.
Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair. Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back, veranda out the front, and an old rocking chair.
Let me tell you of an interview with an old man he knew. He's got a beak and feathers and things, but the poor old fella ain't got no wings. Aren't you jealous of the wedge-tailed eagle and battle-da-da-da, while the eagle's flying round and round to keep your 2 feet firmly on the ground? Now I can't fly, but I'm telling you, I can run the pants of a kangaroo. But I do. He can't fly, but I'm telling you, we can run the pants of a kangaroo. Was the model for the 50 cents. Da-da-da-da. The designer should have had more sense. Da-da-da-da. If you take a look, it'll prove to you. I ran the pants of that kangaroo. Take a look, it'll prove to you. He ran the pants of the kangaroo. Can't loop the loop like a cockatoo. Da-da-da-da. Swoop and toss like an albatross. Da-da-da-da. You silly galah, I'm better by far than a white cockatoo or a budgerigar. They squeak and squawk and try to talk. Why, me and them's like cheese and chalk. But you can't fly, but I'm telling you, we can run the pants of a kangaroo. Well, the last time I saw old man, he knew da-da-da-da. He was chasing a female, he knew da-da-da-da. As he shot past, I heard him say, she can't fly, but I'm telling you, she could run the pants of a kangaroo. But she can't fly, but I'm telling you, she could run the pants of a kangaroo. Well, there there's a moral to this ditty, da-da-da-da-da. Thrush can sing, but he ain't pretty, da-da-da-da-da. Duck can swim, but he can't sing, nor can the eagle on the wing. Emu can't fly, but I'm telling you, he can run the pants of a kangaroo. Well, the kookaburra laughed and he said it's true, da-da-da-da-da. He can run the pants of a kangaroo.
Oh, there's red rock and dust in this land of romance, where the riverbanks will burst without warning. And I had to leave my girl on the shores of the ocean to travel this big country round. Oh, I'll thumb a truckee down or jump a goods train, and I tell you there's no stopping me now. Yes, I'm going, don't know where, but I'll advance Australia fair till I've traveled this big country round. Yes, I'll be going waltzing with Matilda, and I'll travel up the road to Gundagai. But I'll be steering clear of that pub with no beer when I'm traveling this big country round. Oh, there's red rock and dust in this land of romance, where the riverbanks will burst without warning. And I had to leave my girl on the shores of the ocean to travel this big country round. Jolly swagman, but I don't regret a thing that I've done. So click all the shears and I'll be gone for years, for I'm traveling this big country round. Oh, this land is so big and so lonely, but a man can get away from it all. So untie that kangaroo, he won't catch old man Emu, for he's traveling this big country round. Oh, there's red rock and dust in this land of romance, where the riverbanks will burst without warning. And I had to leave my girl on the shores of the ocean to travel this big country round.
It's raining on the northern plains, raining on the ridge, while Jolly Swagman lights his fire under the bridge. And it's raining on the northern plains, raining on the ridge, while Jolly Swagman lights his fire under the bridge. Still has his billy, still has his pack, while above his head the trailer rolls with the future on its back. He needs no television, needs no fridge. His world is unchanging under the bridge. And it's raining on the northern plains, raining on the ridge, while Jolly Swagman lights his fire under the bridge.
That's what they call ballet grass guitar.
And it's raining on the northern plains, raining on the ridge, while Jolly Swagman lights his fire under the bridge. Still has his billy, still has his pack,
while above his head a trailer rolls with the future on its back. He needs no television, needs no fridge. His world is unchanging under the bridge.
Bloody trucks, why can't they drive on someone else's bridge?
And it's raining on the northern plains, raining on the ridge, while Jolly Swagman lights his fire under the bridge. And it's raining on the northern plains, raining on the ridge, while Jolly Swagman lights his fire under the bridge. Sit down. Darkest blue valleys and cockatoos white herald the morning in flashes of light, while majestic black thunderclouds threaten the day, and 1,000 fine horses couldn't drag me away. And right here beside me my dream is complete, a gift from the Lord, a fine lady whispers so softly that she'll never leave me. Why, heaven's right here in the mountains. Yes, heaven's right here in the mountains. Don't bother to take me away. And when the Lord chooses to send down the angels, I'll tell them that I'd rather stay. Days but half over, the rain's come and gone, and the valley's own choir has burst into song. And like a flag of the universe, there is a rainbow. Tell me where else on this earth should I be? And right here beside me my dream is complete, a gift from the Lord, a fine lady whispers so softly that she'll never leave me. Why, heaven's right here in the mountains. Yes, heaven's right here in the mountains. Don't bother to take me away. And when the Lord chooses to send down the angels, I'll tell them that I'd rather stay. Yes, heaven's right here in the mountains. Don't bother to take me away. And when the Lord chooses to send down the angels, I'll tell them that I'd rather stay.
Harry Harbord Morant. Is that your name? Well-educated gentleman. That's what you claim.
Well, there wasn't a bet that he wouldn't take. He had a neck that you couldn't break. Bay or Brownie couldn't shake the breaker. He married a girl from Opera Sand, stole a pig and away he ran. Troubadour and mystery man, the breaker.
horseman. Sailed your horse over a 7-foot fence. By candlelight? What a show.
There wasn't a bet that he wouldn't take. He had a neck that you couldn't break. Bay or Brumby couldn't shake the breaker. He married a girl from Mockford Sam, stole a pig and away he ran. Troubadour and mystery man, the breaker.
Couldn't pay your debts. Wouldn't pay your debts. Joined the Bushveld Carbineers. Showed qualities of leadership.
He fought the unpoetic law. He ran away to the Boer War, killing he'd never seen before, the breaker. He wasn't a man to nurture hate till he came upon his butchered mate, and his anger twisted his own fate, the breaker.
You executed a prisoner without a fair trial. You were under orders. Lord Kitchener denies such a command. Harry Harbord Morant. This court finds you guilty of murder. You will be shot at dawn.
Married a girl from Mockford Sam, stole a pig and away he ran. Troubadour and mystery man, the breaker. There wasn't a bet that he wouldn't take. He had a neck that you couldn't break. Bay or Brumby couldn't shake, the breaker. He married a girl from Mockford Sam, stole a pig and away he ran. Troubadour and mystery man, the breaker. Wasn't a bet that he wouldn't. Muddy waters flow down where the crops are tall and green. I made my bed in this 40-acre patch of the strangest tobacco leaf I've seen. I found some upon the ground, it looked so nice and ripe. I rolled it into a little ball and stuffed it in my pipe. Ah, Rum-Dee-Gee, you're so beautiful tonight, blowing in the silvery moonlight, flowing like a ribbon to the sky. Sleeping like a log in the early morning sun, dreaming of my strange discovery. Walking by this warm sensation on my face was the breath of the biggest bull you'd seen. Well, my mind jumped the river, but my body froze like ice. Then Mr. Bull smiled, hey man, ain't this grass nice? Ah, Rum-Dee-Gee, you're so beautiful tonight, blowing in the silvery moonlight, flowing like a ribbon to the sky. Well, those kangaroos all climbing trees, goannas on the hop, Stan the ram says it makes him cough. While emus on the runway
flapping like a fool, thinking that it's time that he took off. And the silly glass all full of seeds doing the loop-the-loop. And I found the fox hysterical in the chicken coop. R&D, you're so beautiful tonight, glowing in the silvery moonlight, flowing like a ribbon to the sky. Here we go. Down by the river where the mighty waters flow, down where the crops are tall and green, I've made my home in this 40-acre patch of the strangest tobacco leaf I've seen. Why don't you come visit me and Mr. Bull? You'll find our hospitality warm and wonderful. R&D, you're so beautiful tonight, glowing in the silvery moonlight, glowing like a ribbon to the sky. R&D, you're so beautiful tonight, glowing in the silvery moonlight, glowing like a ribbon to the sky.
Good evening, here is the news. The New South Wales government has predicted widespread power cuts to be hit.
Oh, not another blackout, it's unreal. Halfway through my shave, you know how I feel. The chicken's in the oven, half cooked. Got the tickets to Queensland booked. Oh, please, Mr. Ran, hand a grand a plan to land her. I'm just about to blow a ruddy fuse. Would someone hand a grand a plan to land her and shed a little light on the news? Great big piles of washing in the hall. We should have kept the copper in the laundry after all. We'll light the barbecue again. Poor uncle's chopping wood in the rain. Oh, please, Mr. Rand, hand a grand a plan to land her. I'm just about to blow a ruddy fuse. Would someone hand a grand a plan to land her and shed a little light on the news? Take it away, Sparky. Talk about hot. They've gone and turned the fans off in the pub, and there's no guiding light leading to the loo. But I found a likely place to go. You should have heard the lady. Oh, please, Mr. Rand, hand a grand a plan to land her. I'm just about to blow a ruddy fuse. Would someone hand a grand a plan to land her and shed a little light on the news? Another sheep out in the paddock, half shorn. The dairy cows will have to milk themselves tomorrow morn. And I'm missing my favourite TV show, Spaghetti Hour on Channel O. Please, Mr. Land, hand a grand a plan to land her. I'm just about to blow a ruddy fuse. Would someone hand a grand a plan to land her and shed a little light on the news? Mr. Rand, hand a grand a plan to land her. I'm just about to blow a ruddy fuse. Would someone hand a grand a plan to land her and shed a little light on the news? Oh, would someone hand a grand a plan? Would someone hand a grand a plan?
guys, can you hurry up, please? They're going to turn the power off any minute.
Hand a grand a plan to London. Would someone hand a grand a plan? 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 Would someone hand a grand a plan to London? Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. Standing in a pool room, putting out the fire, when a girl from the bar says hello. She said, what's a stranger doing out here? The conversation started to flow. I pulled up a stool, I bought her a drink. A blind man could see she was mine. Well, I hope she had fun, 'cause I don't remember after buying that gallon of wine. Hey, only a dog could know how I feel, sitting on the roadside trying to thumb a ride. Only a dog could know how I feel about you, 'cause no other man could love you the way I do. And only a dog would be where I am. I guess you don't care about that. When I'm the other side of Kachagong, this side of Apple Tree Flat. Lonely roadhouses and empty saloons, heartbreak on lonely faces. No need to repaint the general store, can't even sell bootlaces. Looking for something but won't find it here, where dreams are swinging on rain. Well, I gotta turn around and face the music, but there's no city-bound train. Hey, only a dog could know how I feel, sitting on the roadside trying to thumb a ride. Only a dog could know how I feel about you, 'cause no other man could love you the way I do. And only a dog would be where I am. I guess you don't care about that. When I'm the other side of Kachagong, this side of Apple Tree Flat. Just the other side of Kachagong, this side of Apple Tree Flat. If only I could go fishing down the river again, up before the sun with a can of worms, running with my friend, scurrying down the riverbank, taking our positions on the bridge, hoping for that redfin, 1 pound to put in Mama's fridge. Where the warbler and the dragonfly knew us like they knew the river bend. But as sure as yabbies bite your toes, this boyhood story had to end. Now my daddy was a railway man, whose job it was to mend the line. He didn't mind me fishing, as long as I got to school by 9. But when the fish were biting good, we didn't get to school till noon. But the teacher never told my dad I knew he loved my sister June. Where the dab chick and the waterfowl knew us like they knew the river bend. But as sure as eggs go rotten, this boyhood story had to end. As my friend and I grew bigger, the little town got smaller every day. When everyone knows everyone, you must be careful what you say. Although we didn't say much, the word got out about our fishing hole. So I swapped my line and sinkers for 3 pennies and a peanut butter roll. Where the warbler and the dragonfly knew us like they knew the river bend. But as sure as tins go rusty, this boyhood story had to end. Heading up to Springbrook, Queensland. Got my woman by my side and a guitar in my hand. Hear the bluegrass banjo picking sweet. Hear the valley echo to a country beat. I'm heading up to Springbrook, Queensland. Got a trailer load of gear and a grinning funky country band. Hear the slide dobro picking sweet. Hear the valley echo to a country beat. And I know the Lord will bring us a sunny day, 'cause He brought you to me and all the beauty that I see. And we got songs to sing all the clouds away. I'm heading up to Springbrook, Queensland. Looking to the east I see the ocean's golden sand. Hear the whipbird crack like cob and coal, and echo through the valley down below. And I know the Lord will bring us a sunny day, 'cause He brought you to me and all the beauty that I see. And we got songs to sing all the clouds away. Hear the country whistler blowing sweet. Hear the valley echo to a country beat. And I know the Lord will bring us a sunny day, 'cause He brought you to me and all the beauty that I see. And we got songs to sing all the clouds away. down the rain. Lord, if you don't mind, send down the rain. Lightning and thunder, if my crops don't get a drink, we cannot stay. I'll take my wife and kids and just walk away. Yes, send down the rain. Lord, if you don't mind, send down the rain. Lightning and thunder, I grew like a tree.
Put the keg on my coffin and think of me every so often. Have a loser's day parade for all my friends. Drink up life like a river till the pizza man delivers. Smile and know I loved you till the end. Well, here's what to do when my time comes to pass. Well, Charlie told me through the reflection in his glass, don't waste time praying, 'cause I'm never coming back. Just throw a party in my name and put the keg on my coffin and think of me every so often. Have a loser's day parade for all my friends. Drink up life like a river till the pizza man delivers. Smile and know I loved you till the end. Well, here's what to write on this stone over my grave. His friends were earned and not a penny saved. Don't waste time crying, 'cause you two are on your way to meet me at the pawn shop in the sky. Put the keg on my coffin and think of me every so often. Have a loser's day parade for all my friends. Drink up life like a river till the pizza man delivers. Smile and know I loved you till the end. Smile and know I loved you till the end. Smile and know I loved you till the end.
Basil Lewis Anderson would not have wanted a big fuss made at his farewell. He would have said, don't go on too long, make things short and sweet. Tell my family and friends to move on and make the most of their time. Basil probably wouldn't have said it in those words, but you would have known what he meant. He wouldn't want you to be sad, but he would be so thankful that you good people here today meant so much to him. You will all have and hold dear many special memories of Basil, and those memories will stay with you forever, and you will always treasure his lasting memory. And nothing can now detract from all that you have shared with Basil. The past, with all its meaning, is sacred and secure, and your love for Basil and his love for you, his family and friends, can never be altered by time or by circumstance. Officially, it's good morning to you all, and on behalf of his family, I welcome you as you have gathered to pay your respect to a rather unique chappie, to put it one way. Mr. Basil Lewis Anderson. My name is Dudley Corbett, and I'm indeed honoured to be invited by Vicky and the family to conduct this celebration of Basil's life. The service will take place here at the chapel and then processed to the Central Coast Lawn Cemetery for interment. At the conclusion of same, the family would love to have you return to 23 Parsons Street, East Ulverston, near the footy ground, Vicky's house, for a refreshment and a good old chin wag. And those of you who do go back to that, you're everybody more than welcome, but if you're feeling a bit thirsty, you might bring your own jug of water. And the family have also asked me to thank you for this great attendance here today, to assure you of the great comfort it gives them to know that Basil was so loved and so respected. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear, tell them how much you love them and that you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, then you'll have no regrets about today. We have a couple of very good tributes that I'll share with you very shortly from family members. But first of all, I'd like to share a couple of thoughts with you as I found out the other day as I sat with family members. Basil was born on the 19th of the 10th, 1930. And I don't know whether some of you remember 1930, if you go back that far, but the great Far Lap won the Melbourne Cup that day, or not that day, but that year. And yes, he was only 2 years old when the Sydney Harbour Bridge was opened. He was born, obviously, in Depression years and would have known it rather tough growing up in those years, and probably tried to be first into the bath on Friday night instead of last, for obvious reasons. But anyway, when he was first born, the family lived at Stowport, and he had a few moves in his life around the place. But he had siblings, Victor, deceased, and Iris, and well, he was the love father of Vicky and Greg, deceased. He was the Day, as he was called, Day, grandfather of Kylie, Danny, Mel and Josh. And he had some great grandchildren as well. Taj, Tate, Baden, Takira, Kai Marie, Shadell, Joby, Gregan and Kately. So a fine lot of descendants to carry on the family name. He went to school sometimes at Sprint, Devonport. When he was in Devonport, he used to take his brother Victor with him, and I'm told that Victor didn't really want to go to school, so Basil took him by the arm and took him back home again. And Basil got into trouble for doing that. He was looking after Victor, but anyway, that's the way he was. He also went to school at Barrington and Sprint, I believe, and a little bit later on, when he worked at Edgehalls, he met a young lady by the name of Gladys Wilkins, a fine lady too, my next door neighbour for quite a few years. They were engaged for 12 years, I'm told. Basil really wasn't one to rush into things, probably. 12 years, he had to be sure. And they were married in the Ulverston Baptist Church on the 8th of May 1954 by the Reverend Ken Tuck. And he was a fine man, Ken Tuck. He worked, Mum worked at the dry cleaners also, and Gladys, or Pick as we all know her, she worked at the dry cleaners, and Basil was a farm labourer. They lived in Rihanna for a long time, and he was, amongst his other jobs, he spent 33 years, I'm told, with the forestry, and he knew trees, and he knew steel chainsaws, as you can see, and he knew the bush. And a lot of people here today, I can see, have worked alongside Basil and listened to his stories and shared in some of the devilment that obviously would have went on. The forestry house at South Rihanna caught fire where they lived. It caught fire at one stage and was badly incinerated, so they moved to Rihanna, and by the end of the week the house was all finished and tied in. All the windows were in and the doors, no, it wasn't quite that quick. But down the track it was finished eventually, and that's where him and Pick lived for many, many years. Yeah, so, yes, he was a unique fella, all right. He was an umpire's advisor, I'm told. He didn't follow the football religiously, but he followed it and gave the umpires good advice and told them where they went wrong with footy and with cricket. And in no uncertain words, no doubt, he watched TV programs such as the alligator shows, where they were catching the alligators in the swamps, and trucking life. And I've got a note here that he had a great command of the English language. You would probably realise that. On a hot day, he did love a drink. Whiskey, sherry, Bogue's draft, long necks, it doesn't matter, but it was mainly water, I suppose. There used to be a free pair of socks given with every carton of whiskey. He used to hide the whiskey, but he couldn't hide the socks, and he used to give them to family members. Here, have a pair of socks. Here, I got the whiskey. Here, don't tell Pick. He said that whiskey was the cure for all evils, and one day somebody badly cut their feet or a foot, and so Basil got the whiskey bottle out and proceeded to doctor that horrendous wound with whiskey. I don't know how he managed to give it away, but he did, and he fixed the patient. It was the cure for all ills, he believed. He was a self-taught mechanic. He was a tinkerer. He was a Mr. Fix-It. He knew mostly everything, how it worked. If he took something to pieces, then he could put it back together without too much left over. He knew the bush, as we said earlier. He loved the Waratah and the natives. One day he came home from somewhere and Vicky was in the toilet having a cigarette. She didn't hear him arrive. And the next thing, the door was thrown open and a bucket of water was thrown over the lady to put the fire out. And then she was made go to the kitchen or wherever and smoke the rest continuously of the rest of the cigarettes in the packet. I hope it cured you, Vicky. It hasn't. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. There's still plenty of water to throw over you. The family loved to camp at Arthur River, and they had many good times down there. Yeah, so there are many stories, no doubt, some that we can share in public today, but I'll open the service very shortly for anyone who would care to share a story with us. I have some tributes, as I said, but yeah, many stories. Oh, Basil was also a very good vegetable gardener. He was possessed with a couple of green thumbs, and he used to love his veggie garden. Many thanks from the family to family-based care for the Burnley Hospital to their medical staff, and of course a very special thanks to Vicky, who was really Basil's carer for quite a long time, and yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, from everybody. Yeah, I'll just share these lovely stories with you now. There are a couple of words in here that I will be substituting with the word Basil. So every time you hear me say that, you'll know what it means. Day, if there's one memory of you that everyone got to share, and it's your ability to always make us all laugh and smile. We shared lots of life-changing experiences. One of my fondest was seeing the look in your eyes when you seen me with all my medals on. That's when I discovered that your great-grandfather, Basil Beswick, was a war hero. That's how you got your name. Now your great-grandson is joining the army. At a very young age, about 5, you handed me my first axe. I loved it and would spend hours in Loyalty cutting wood with you. You showed me so much, you taught me so much more. I learned a lot about bush life, slaughtering beasts, sticking pigs, plucking chooks, and my favourite, snaring wallabies. I'm pretty certain that there's a few of us here today that have heard of that finger he got caught in the flitch at the sawmill. Well, it's still done a good job because of the sharpening of the knives or anything with an edge, to peeling off every label in the house that he could find. That finger done its best work when you had to wait for Mum to go down the street and then raid her silver side, just a slice or two for a sandwich. Recently I wrote down the different cricket matches for you so you could understand it better. However, the TV still copped it. Then without fail you draw, I'm still Basil, if I know what these Basils are doing. When Bruno came to stay, you instantly had a mate. You would say, "Where's the big dog?" And that was the only dog allowed in your house. Every year you ask me if my 2 little ones are coming home from way over there, and they are here today in spirit. Never a dull moment. You got up to some mischief, and that's what we loved the most. One day home bored, you had a brain, Basil, and thought you would take the ride on the lawnmower to visit Kerry and Jan. Doesn't seem too bad, but just one small giveaway. Mum tracked you real quick, and every nature strip from your house to Kerry's had a strip that was mowed. You may have slowed down a bit later, but your mind was still fast. Fast enough that after a checkup, you asked the lady if you were done and dusted. She said, "Yes, Basil, you're all done." To which you replied, "Are you sure you don't want to put your Basil up my Basil and see if my hat's on straight?" You were still quick enough to shuffle out the front door not long ago, just so you could flag down Mr. Whippy, waving your hanky at him. Now, wouldn't that have been a sight, Basil? You were so pleased with yourself, you even got Mum one and said, "There you go, Vicky, you've been a good girl." No more smokes. Speaking of girls, well, today they were tarts, they were old tarts, they were young tarts, they were big tarts, they were small tarts, and he had a couple of favourites. He had the Yaffling tart, Tanya, are you here? Oh, right. And the tart next door, who eventually got an upgrade to Mother Tart next door. Doesn't seem too bad, just one small whoops, I've already got that. You often said you wanted to make 100, only a letter from the Queen. And then one day you said, Basil the letter. That old tart, she might not get one either. I could go on all day, but your memories will carry us all with a smile. I guess this is your last shuffle. Check your almanac on the way past, stop and give the barometer a few taps, but please shut off the brass band playing from your Basil. As you lay down one last time for a well-earned rest, you will see an angel that you've deeply missed. As we all let you go, I'm sure Ma is waiting for you with open arms. Two wonderful, beautiful people back together at last warms my heart. Ma was an angel and you are her saint. Rest easy now, your work is done. Love your day, from Danny, Baden to Kira, Kai Marie and Shadell. And righto, I'll see you next trip, as he used to say, among other things. The tributes keep coming. Our dear day, where do I start? Maybe with Basil, you was a ratbag. Some of my best and funniest childhood memories include you and our beautiful Ma, the love of your life. Lots of trips up the bush at Loyatier collecting the seeds off the trees while you were working for the forestry. Never ever came across that Basil pie shop that you promised me was up there. I came home starving, hungry and disappointed. You spent lots of time cutting up beasts in the meat shed, then cooking up all the little bits and pieces that grossed me out. Slipping the cow's tongue out of your fly in your trousers to see my reaction. Poor Ma would go berserk at you. Our camping trips at Easter down the Arthur River, we would load up the big green truck and caravan and drive for what felt like all day. You were in your element cooking up a storm on the campfire, or catching up with some of you and Ma's dear friends, Julie and Reeg. And what great friends they had. And my future in-laws to be, the Rays. I've heard of them somewhere as well. There was lots of wobbly trips back to the camp after a few too many Nellies. My worst childhood memory was when we lost our beautiful Ma, and I'm pretty sure when I say this, it was the worst day of your life. Your heart was broken and was never the same again. From then on, we had to keep a close eye on you. We never know what you are going to get up to. Anything from cooking parrot pies to taking the ride on an adventure up the street, giving the nature's neighbour strips a trim along the way. You love to sit in your chair and share with us lots of stories about your life, which we all found amazing. The things you loved the most was Ma, the bush, a small drop of whiskey, anything from the bakery, and you didn't mind letting a few swear words slip. Things you liked the least were your hearing aids, doing as you were told, having to give up your whiskey, and doing life without Ma. You sure kept us on our toes, Day, but far out you did give us lots of giggles. Josh and I are so lucky that our kids got to have you in their lives as long as they did. They all have great memories that they will cherish and remember forever. We will miss seeing your smiling face perched up in the chair when we walk in the door, or the look on your face when we scare the Basil out of you. After we try to come in as loud as possible, hoping that you could hear us before you could see us, because you could guarantee your hearing aids would be sitting on the table, to which you would reply, "Where the Basil did you come from?" We all have ease in knowing that you're now back in the arms of our precious Ma. Please give her a big hug for me and tell her I love her. I promise I will take good care of Mum. She will be fine. Thank you, Dave, for teaching me how to be the strong woman I am today. I love you and will miss your funny little shenanigans terribly. All my love, from Mill. Yeah, wonderful tributes, and a little poem that Kately has written. A very clever family, obviously. Our hero is here. He is resting now above us in the clouds. It's like our lives are quiet now, so quiet it seems so loud. A goodbye has never seemed so hard. Our hearts, they mourn for you. In heaven you are now my angel guard, with our dearest Ma there too. All the memories they are treasured now, and in minds they play us proud. It's like our lives are quiet now, so quiet it seems so loud. If only we could visit heaven just one more time to hold you tight. It wouldn't be any later than 7, because I know you'd be in bed for the night. Your place in my heart, it will never grow old, right from the start till my blood runs cold. So our hero is resting now above us in the clouds. It's like our lives are quiet now, so quiet it seems so loud. Yeah. From all you good people, I think that's worth a round of applause in appreciation of what they've done. Yeah. Yeah. I know that Basil would have been pretty proud of those tributes, as indeed we all are. Is there anybody else who would care to share a story with us before we move on? Oh, yes, we have some starters. In the meantime, just prepare what you're going to say, give you a few more minutes, but here we are. Yeah. It's all yours.
You were my best friend, my rock, and sometimes a pain in the arse. The way you used to wind me up, then laugh about it just to piss me off even more. Like every time just about, I'd be counting out your tablets into the weekly organiser for your next week. You would stand there talking to me while I was doing it. And I would say, oh, now you've mucked me up with your bloody yaffling while I'm counting your tablets. Now I've stuffed it up because I've lost count once again. Then you would laugh and shuffle off into the lounge room, and you would still be waffling on in there in your chair. I would yell out and say, I'm still counting out your tablets out here, wait till I finish. Then you would go into the lounge... Then I would go into the lounge room when I'd finished and ask you what you said for you to reply with, it doesn't matter now, then laugh once again. And, I'm going to swear, not like he did though, then bugger me the next week would come around for him to do the same thing again. He just loved to stir you up and laugh it off. I finally got him in to an appointment for his hearing aids in Devonport. Oh, that was great when we come out of there. He could hear birds chirping, cars going past, trucks, motorbikes, you name it, he could hear it all. I thought to myself, yay, I'm on a winner here. This is going to be so much easier than yelling for all the neighbours to hear what I'm saying, in Trina in particular. On the way home, he was saying all the noises he could hear. I said, bet that sounds different. You haven't heard those noises for years. I hear it all the time, Day. Then he answers with a, yeah. So we arrive home, get inside, have a cup of tea. Then Day turns the TV on and I'm thinking, look out, this could be interesting. Volume on 57. The next thing he lets out, what the is going on here? How do you turn this Basil down? Here, take the remote, fix it, while he's swearing his head off even more. So I took the remote, looked at him, started laughing, said it was my turn to laugh this time, and turned the volume down. But those hearing aids didn't last long at all, because while I was down the street one day, he decided to pull them apart just to see how they worked. So he said, when I came home, there was bits and pieces everywhere. Apparently the batteries went flat, and he tried to fix them, which really only meant putting new batteries in. But oh no, he had to pull it to pieces. So then we were back to square one again. Mind you, he never wore them much at all after that. He really hated them. He loved to sit and tell stories about the good old days. When I would tell him that Royce and Marie were coming over to stay, he would say, "Them people from over the water?" Then I would say yes. His answer would be, Basil oath. I hope that Basil don't try to overfill me. He's always trying to shove food in my mouth. There was another bit there that Marie, but I probably shouldn't read out what he said to Marie. He was a funny old fella, bit of a handful at times, but kept us all on our toes. We will miss him. He's had a very good innings. He will be loved and missed by us all. Rest easy. You're at peace now. Love you, Day. Your turn, Mum. Good luck with it. And just so you know, I've sent him off with hearing aids, sets of batteries. You both will be forever in our hearts, finally where you both want to be.
Day, I have so many memories that I will cherish forever. The love and the time that you put into us as kids will always hold a special place in my heart. Growing up, my number one favourite thing was to come and stay with you and Ma in the school holidays. I remember us kids always arguing over whose turn it was next. I would always spend the first part of the day waking up and running into your bedroom to jump into bed with Ma and wait for you to bring us up a cup of tea and a bowl of biscuits. You always had my favourite ones in the bowl. You taught me so much in becoming an independent, strong woman. You taught me to love and you taught me to laugh. There was never a conversation that I had with you that wouldn't involve a joke or some funny saying that only you could come up with. All my friends adored you and your character, even if you did call them tarts. Oh, she's a good tart. They were all special tarts to you. Packing up the caravan or going up the bush to cut wood, you and Ma would always make sure we had a packed lunch of goodies, mostly lollies and chocolates. You worked hard to spoil us rotten. Birthdays would be presents galore and a present for the other two, just so they didn't feel left out. You used to love going to the Penguin pub to have a well-deserved sherry or whiskey with the lads, and you would tell me and Ma that you would only be an hour, to be 3 hours later. You would come out of that pub with a big cheeky grin, knowing full well that Ma and I used to enjoy that time also waiting for you as we would be sitting there knitting and eating more lollies and chocolates. I watched you work hard all your life and spending every cent on your family. Never once did we all go without. I love you, Day. You were the rock of our family, a true gentleman, and after all these years, you now get to go and rest and be with the love of your life, Ma. I will miss seeing in your armchair at Mum's, but I will also cherish and feel your presence when I sit in your chair at my place.
Oh, Mr. Pickford. Yes. Thank you, first of all, to a couple of tarts who did a really good job. Basil would have been proud of that. And now, you old tart.
Right. Yes, thanks, Dudley. Yeah, Ian Pickford's my name. I was very fortunate to have the time, probably about 10, 15 years of directly working with Basil back in the forestry years, and I had long been out of my basic training, which is sort of theoretical stuff. But I met Basil in the early 70s, 1970 there it was, and he was the forestry officer up at South Ryana, and I was based in Penguin, and he really gave me some incredible practical hand-on skills in the basic forestry activities we used to carry out, especially with fire protection, where we used to light a lot of fires before the real hot season, the fire season developed in fuel reduction burning, we call it, and then fighting fires in the peak of the summer months. And yeah, Basil was just so down to earth and practical. He had no time for paperwork and whatever it was. And in the years that I left 14 years ago, the whole system was just clogged up with paperwork. But we'd go back to Loonganna there, and we'd light up, just drive out roads and things with a four-wheel drive Land Cruiser, one of us on the back with a drip torch, and we'd probably light up 5 or 10 kilometres of road edged, and come home and there's a massive amount of smoke burning back there, and I'd be pretty concerned, when is this going to end? The way it was going, it looks like it would come right to the coast. And Basil said, no, she'll be right, mate, she'll be out the next day. And sure enough, I'd ring up that night at about 8 o'clock, how are things looking back there in the Loongatto? Oh yes, there's a big red glow there, she's going pretty well. And that was the last thing I wanted to hear. I didn't sleep that night, or many nights, but fair enough, the next day it was pretty well out, and we go back and check things, and then back in with wildfires, when we're trying to hot edge the edge to make sure things are out, he used to always say, sniff and feel. That's the way you work out whether the edge was actually out. So if you can't see anything, but you'd use your nose, or you put your hand down where you'll see a bit of what appeared to be a hot spot, and sure enough, you'd know that was a spot there that had to be put out. Chainsaw activities, he certainly was a very skilled chainsaw timber faller, and did a lot of falling of trees and taught me a lot of skills there. Roadworks, putting in culverts and access tracks and things. Yes, he had an eye for grades and tracks that no other person would have. So yeah, generally he was a tremendous bloke, and I learnt so much from him, and I'd just like to acknowledge the fact that he was a real hands-on person and someone I will never forget, and taught me so much. Thanks, Dudley.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much for that detailed resume, Ian, and well presented and well received, no doubt. And thank you, everybody who has played a part today in Basil's farewell. We're now going to go back a little in Basil's life per virtue of some favourite photos that the family has put together, with some of Basil's favourite music playing in the background. So stand by to go back a little in history.
When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up shoulders, you raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have grown, I'll fly away. Like the bird from prison bars have flown, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Oh,
You wanted a drink for Christmas?
oh God. I don't think I'll open it. It could be bloody poison water.
Thank you to the family for sharing those treasured memories. There's no doubt about it. So sweet is the sunshine that follows the rain, and so is the peace that follows the pain. Softly the leaves of memory fall, gently we gather and treasure them all. Today, tomorrow, our whole lives through. Our dear friend Basil, we will not forget you. So today we celebrate love and we celebrate life. The grief that we feel today is a response of that love, for if there is no love, then there is no grief. And it is a mark of your love for Basil that you experience this great sadness at his passing. losing Basil reminds us to treasure the great gift of life that we have. For none of us knows for sure just how long we have this most wonderful gift to enjoy. I think Basil would have said this at the final part of our service here in the chapel prior to leaving for the Central Coast Cemetery for interment. I think he would have said, "Miss me, but let me go. When I come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your head bowed low. Remember the love that we once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. It's all a part of the master plan, a step on the way to home. So when you are lonely and sick of heart, go to the friends we know. Bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go." Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our service here in the chapel prior to taking Basil on his final journey. And I would ask you, please, if you would all stand as we start to take our farewell of our dear friend. Thank you.
Hey, true blue, don't say you've gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoker, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, give it to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dying race. Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or just Vegemite? True blue, I'm asking you. Hey, true blue, can you bear the load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show on the road? Hey, true blue, hey, true blue, now be fair dinkum, is your heart still there? If they sell us out like sponge cake, do you really care? Hey, true blue, true blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when she's in a fight? Or just Vegemite? True blue, I'm asking you. True blue, is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a